ये भी कर दूं ना? ठीक है। एक मिनट एक मिनट एक मिनट, अरे बोला मैंने। बराबर है।
वीडियो बात करो एक बार। हेलो
Yeah, Hitwi, can you hear me?
यहाँ से चलेंगे आप?
बोले तो Hetvi, can you please speak? Najma ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Just wait for the video and the conversation.
I can hear Najma ma'am's voice, but not Hetvi's voice.
Hi, Wajida.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all the aspiring entrepreneurs and exporters who have joined us today for the fourth session of India Exports International Business Week 2024, which will be on the export opportunities available for MSMEs in electronics and appliance sector. This India Exports Initiative is basically a crucial step towards empowering the Indian SMEs to capture opportunities in the global markets. This webinar series has been curated specifically for the Indian entrepreneurs across the key sectors and also will be available on YouTube. And this initiative will provide sector-focused knowledge within a short span, and our goal is to equip participants of this program with essential skills and insights to thrive as exporters in their specific sectors. Today, the focus sector for discussion is electronics and appliances, as I already said, which is an industry at the forefront of technological advancement and innovation, driving India's vision of becoming a global manufacturing hub. This sector also presents immense international potential as Indian electronic products and home appliances are increasingly recognized for their value, innovation, and adherence to global quality standards. With the growing demand for energy efficient, cost-effective, and feature-rich products, India has an opportunity to establish itself as a trusted player in the global supply chain. However, to unlock this potential, Indian SMEs must overcome unique challenges such as technological upgradation, meeting international safety and environmental standards, efficient supply chain management, and innovation-driven product differentiation. This webinar will address these challenges and outline strategies to enhance Indian electronics and appliances appeal to global consumers while meeting international standards and demands. We are thrilled to bring together experts, successful exporters, and thought leaders in the electronics and appliances industry who will share practical advice and experiences and insights to guide our entrepreneurs in navigating the complexities and opportunities of exporting in this sector. We encourage all of you participants to please take part actively and ask your questions in the question and answer chat box. Also, take advantage of the expertise shared by our distinguished panelists today. I now would like to invite our esteemed speakers and moderator to lead us through this section under the India Exports International Business Week. I'm honored to invite Dr. Aashish Saurikhia, Director Public Policy of India Cellular and Electronics Association. Welcome, sir.
Hi.
Mr.
Thank you.
Arun Goyal, Senior Advisor, Mobile and Electronics Devices Export Promotion Council. Welcome, sir. Mr. Dipesh Dasadia, Managing Director, Transit Electronics Private Limited. Welcome, sir. And Ms. Anita Lalchandani, Area Sales Manager from UPS. Welcome, ma'am. Also, I would like to invite our moderator, Ms. Wajida Shaikh, Head of Research Department, SDRC International, to moderate this session. And we are looking forward to listen to your insights and, go through and waiting for you to take us through this insightful session and on this amazing topic. Over to you, Wajida ji.
Thank you, Najma ma'am. Thank you for your introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I just need to ask one thing. Mr. Arun Goyal is here with us today because I just cannot see him on the screen right now.
I believe he is just dropped out.
Actually, he had joined, I believe, maybe due
Yes,
to
he was
some
there.
Okay,
technical
and
issue, he has dropped out with other panelists.
okay, it would be great if Mr. Dipesh Dasadia would switch on the camera. It would be better to interact in that way. I guess he might be having some technological issue. Anyways, what we can do is we can begin. It's actually very great to be the moderator for this session and be a part of it. We all know how important electronic appliances are for us today. Right now, we are living in an artificial intelligence world. And right now, we don't feel very extraordinary when we are using any sorts of AI. But just going back to few decades, anyone who had a refrigerator or a computer or a laptop or an AC, it would be considered as something very elite and luxurious. We live in a nation where it's very it's actually very high population and the demand of these things are ever increasing. And it's not only about these things, we require modifications, we require much more into that. So today interacting about how exports in electronic appliances would be beneficial, especially for our MSMEs, and how we can go about would be great to hear from you. And I hope our entrepreneurs who have joined today would learn much more. Before I start posing up the questions, I would like to ask Dr. Aashish Saurikhia to please introduce yourself.
Yes. Hi. This is Dr. Aashish Saurakhia, Director Public Policy at ICEA, India Cellular and Electronic Association. Actually, we take the credit, means if you're listening the news about mobile phone manufacturing and how it has grown up, the efforts with respect to policy engineering, revamping it again and again, phase manufacturing program, PLI schemes. So we were the mind behind that. And along with that, we were also into international interface with a lot of the mobile manufacturers, and we catalyzed the investment into the country. As on date, we are manufacturing some USD 55 billion of electronics in India during the last one decade since 2014. So this is the whole about my organization, and I am into this sector since last 12 years. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Now, Miss Anita Lalchandani, I would request you to please introduce yourself.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for having me here today. And I would congratulate SME also to taking that initiative and giving the aspiring exporters to have that platform. I am Anita Lalchandani, and I am the area sales manager managing western part of India for UPS Express. And I am into the industry for more than 22 years now. And I'm looking forward to have the views from the panelists and would add to it according to what I can contribute to the panel. Yeah. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, ma'am. Mr. Arun Goyal, I would request you to please introduce yourself to the entrepreneurs.
You are on mute, sir.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, sir.
So I'm senior advisor to Mobile and Electronic Devices Export Promotion Council. So it is our job to promote export of electronics products, especially mobile phones and its parts. And in this important meeting that has been organized, I would like to present to you what are the performance of this sector, and more important, what are the opportunities in this sector, and how you can, small and medium exporters can avail of these opportunities. So I have been now in this field now for the last 40 years, and I have been doing research and consultancy in exports, import, WTO, and all that. And I am also a publisher of books. You can see the title that we have done on exports.
So just a little bit. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Thank you, sir. Now can Mr. Dipesh Dasadia listen to what we are saying? Am I audible to you? I guess he might be facing some technical issues. Now, I would like to introduce myself. I am an economist by profession. I'm pursuing my PhD. Also, I'm a gold medalist in economics. I have been working in this field past few years, and it's all about how Indian economy operates, how different sectors have been contributing. So, before I start posing you all the questions, I have certain statistics with me which I would like to share down. So when we discuss about the market's potential and growth, India's electronic exports have reached nearly US dollar 8.44 billion in the year 2024, and we are expected to reach 120 billion by FY26. India is projected to be the fifth largest consumer electronics and appliances market globally. It's actually very phenomenal the way we are pacing up, the way we are competing with the different markets. Mobile phones, when it comes to mobile phones, you see each and every person over here has at least one cell phone, and the connectivity is actually growing no matter if it's rural area. The efforts have been taking place. India is the second largest manufacturer, with exports doubling to US dollar approximately 11 billion in 2023. Refrigerators are expected to expand from US dollars 3.8 billion in FY21 to US dollar 6.7 billion by FY26. If we see what is the status of FDI, it is almost doubled. Also, we can contribute it to the production link scheme. It has led to the, what we can say, just a doubling of these productions, how they have been reaching to the markets, how the consumers are just taking advantage of all this. When it comes to Make in India policy, the National Policy on Electronics 2019 aims for the production of 1 billion mobile handsets. Major brands like Apple, Lenovo, TCL are ramping up their India-based manufacturing to tap in both the export and the manufacturing market. From the time period Apple have started its store in Mumbai, it's just a new genre which we have now, a new capacity. We feel blessed to be a part of such a mega giant in the electronic markets, and let's see how we can contribute. What I can see now is Mr. Dipesh can hear us, and we can even see him right now. Can you please introduce yourself, sir? So you are on mute.
Hello, I am Dipesh Dasadia, Managing Director of Transit Electronics Limited, and we are into a business of system integration. More than 30 years we are in this business. We are into engineering of entire low voltage spectrum, that is electronic, CCTV, access control, fire alarm, BMS, networking, SCADA, VESDA, all those things we are doing it. So we do have rich experience in electronic market. So thanks a lot.
Okay, great, sir. Good to hear from you. So we have list of questions which our MSMEs have posed to us, and we would like to ask you. The very first question I would pose to Dr. Ashish. Can you please let me know an overview of the current state of India's electronics and appliances export sector?
Fully means I believe Arunji is the best person to answer exactly regarding exports. I can discuss more on manufacturing and then on exports.
Okay, so I would
I
just
will, I
like
will,
to, yeah, pass on this
I will take
question.
this one.
Yeah.
I will take this one. You see, essentially, electronics export, as the lady pointed out earlier, that electronics export has done very well. We were $10 billion in 2021, and we are $1 in the year 23-24.
So
And
can you
if you
speak a little louder?
we, as far as electronics is concerned, we have gone from a very small figure of $10 billion in 2021 to $30 billion in 23-24. So you can see that in a period of just 3 years, we have tripled our export. And as the lady pointed out earlier, that the future is very bright. This year itself, our statistics show that we are doing $3 billion a month. So that totals to $36 billion just for mobiles alone. And mobile is about nearly half, a little more than half of total export. So you can expect that we may end this year with $60 billion. So in terms of a share, after engineering goods, we are number 2 in the export basket. We have left textiles behind. We have left drugs and pharmaceuticals behind. So behind this huge growth in exports, there is a lot of scope, but then we should understand what exactly comprises of electronics exports. Now, the statistics that I have before me, which have been compiled by MEDEPC, which show that the major segment is, of course, mobile phone, which accounts for more than half of the total export. Then the other segment is IT hardware, laptops and tablets. Now, laptops and tablets, we are not doing so well in export, but there is a very ambitious program that the government has financed in terms of the PLI. So hopefully we should be able to make up on that. Now, the third important segment is consumer electronics, that is TV and audio. This also is something where we are doing well domestically, but in export, we have to pick up. The fourth important segment, which I think will be of great concern and of great interest to your members, that is the wearables and hearables segment. Now, wearables and hearables segment, it largely comprises of smartwatches, then the earpods, and then the other attachments that go into the mobile phone. so that you can hear as well as speak. Now, the wearables and hearables is a very important segment in the sense that the technology is changing very, very fast. From the kind of device that I am wearing, now it is all wireless, and in fact, you can put it on a wrist and even on your finger, and the whole thing is changing very fast. The interesting point is that this is a very labor intensive segment, and there's a huge demand for it the world over. And because in this, India has got significant advantages, and this is one sector where we have a major presence. Now, the very important thing is that apart from mobile phone, there's a huge currents which are subterranean forces which are operating the parts, components, and accessories. Ashish will correct me, but as far as I know, there are more than 500 to 600 components that are going into a mobile phone. Now, significant component in that is the PCBA, where on a bare PCB, the various components, the passive electronic, the active electronics, and very many other things, these are put into the PCBA. Now, PCB assembly itself is a very, very big industry, and India is making some headway in this. Now, within this, there are other segments which are not PCBA, but very important segment is chargers and power banks. Now, chargers and power banks are very important in the sense that it is basically an assembly operation in which there is a cell that goes into it, and then various wires and PCBA and so on, so that the whole thing, and then it's something that is continuously replenishing, and people lose this thing for different models. They are different this thing. So in India, we have a huge power bank and charger industry that has come up. Now, apart from these four things which are related to mobile phones, there is electric vehicles, there is LED, there is industrial electronics and components. As you know, that intelligent systems, they require many things like auto electronics, and in everything, in fact, there is an electronic component that goes into it. Then there are sub assemblies. Then the latest thing that is coming up is electronic fans. I was in Dubai recently, auditing the GITEX fair and the Expand North Star, both of which were promoted by MEDEPC, in which I came across a fan, very interesting fan, which is very small, and you just put it on, and the fan can be directed toward the different parts of the body. It's very compact, very efficient, and it does not require any battery. There's a cable that comes with it. So as you can see, there is a huge potential for this sector. But importantly, you have to see is that the technical competence has to be very high. And the other segment that we noticed when we were in Dubai was that applications have come up in a very big way, where the whole divide between software and hardware, the, that divide is being bridged, and the software is coming in and hardware is supporting it. Then software comes on to the different devices, and the many chips are added to it. So the whole intelligent artificial intelligence is coming in, robotics is coming in very well, gaming is coming in. It's a very fast changing sector. So this is as far as the market is concerned. The other aspect is the policy aspect. There's the import policy, there's a custom tariff, there are many other barriers, and there's an incentive scheme, there's a road tax scheme, there's a duty-free imports for export promotion. It's a vast field. So to get a grip on that, I can say is that if you put your act together, decide on which segment is best for you, then there are electronic clusters which are there, There is one in Sri City in Andhra Pradesh near Tamil Nadu. Then there is a huge one in Tamil Nadu itself, which is Sri Perambudur. Bangalore is already there. Noida is there. Now we are also going into semiconductor production. So it's a very big field, really a lot of potential, a lot of knowledge is required. But I would strongly suggest that you team up and you can join the MEDEPC, where we have a special category for small and medium sector, and they will guide you every day on what is going on, help you in getting incentive, put you in touch with others. There are many fairs and exhibitions in which they participate. They recently took a delegation to Jack to expand North Star, where more than 50 small and medium sector people were represented. So with this longest presentation, I wish to thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to put forward this presentation. I hope I'm clear, and if there are any questions, I'll be very glad to file them. Of
Sure,
course,
sir,
Ashish
sure.
is
It's
all.
like we would definitely build up more question now, as whatever you have said. Definitely, the rolling out of 5G networks and IoT is driving the electronic adoption among the market. So, Dr. Ashish, I would like to ask you on this parameter only. What do you think? How can Indian companies tap into the emerging market opportunities for the demand of IoT appliances and green electronics?
Right. When it comes to IoT, we need to understand that basically it's all about electronics. The basic of electronics is that bare PCB board and the components put into it. I have a small board with me. I would like to show it to you. This is the board. I think it is visible. So there
Mm-hmm.
are many components going into it, and we can differentiate them into active components and passive components. Actives are
Correct.
largely semiconductors in nature, and passives are non-semiconductor, and we also call them slave components. So if it is IoT or we are discussing about this smart cities and automations, Industry 4.0, this all is driven by these type of boards incorporated with means works with a software, right? This is the core. So if we discuss about that, how it may lead to early adoption, that is not the fight. We Indians are very fast in adoption.
Correct.
So today we have the latest, the iPhones or any type of mobile phones, gadgets, wearable, hearables. So adoption may not be that the crucial challenge. According to me, the challenge is that how we scale up our manufacturing of these items, all these components, and build a capacity which can suffice the domestic demand and also your core theme, that is exports, right? So as on date, we are manufacturing some USD 115 billion of electronics, right? But the value addition ranges around 18 to 20% and maybe little less or more. That is the point. So most of these items need to be manufactured in India. That is one thing. And once we come up with the scaling opportunity, means manufacturing scaling. So the point is that it will lead a huge opportunity for not only mobile phone exports, but the exports of components, sub-assemblies, and all these items. So the key word is manufacturing, right? Then it comes adoption, and then it comes that we can discuss about export. So for MSMEs and your core audience, I believe they should understand what are the demand of the electronic industry, finished good industry. They should enter into it, no doubt. Mobile Export Promotion Council has a core wealth regarding the database and the understanding of what can be manufactured, how they can support MSMEs in terms of global exposure, interface, and also technical manufacturing competencies. That is one.
Okay, thank you. Absolutely correct, sir. So, again, just connecting to the dots, Mr. Dipesh, as you have heard, I would like to ask you, what do you think are the key trends, such as smart appliances or energy efficient products, which are shaping the industry today?
Uh, See, key trend are basically into smart appliances, into consumer electronics, which sir have said. Then I would say industrial electronic, where automation, equipment, sensors, and control systems are are to be focused. Apart from that, medical electronics where diagnostic device, imaging equipment, and wearable health technology. One very important trend which I have seen is about automotive electronics, where component for electric vehicle, infotainment systems, and ADAS. ADAS is now, very well we can say ADAS too. Almost everything is manufactured in the country. Now, ADAS is going to be in each and every vehicle which is coming. So this can be a very important thing, and almost all the manufacturer are outsourcing it from either India or abroad, right? So ADAS can be a new trend which is to be, automotive electronics can be a focused area, and renewable energy, battery management systems, storage solutions, solar inverters. Apart from that, various service, if you want exactly, um we want to see the trend, then apart from manufacturing also, service related to manufacturing are also coming out to be a very important thing. So I think if Indian exporters focus on three things, there is technology adoption, quality, and export market research. If these three things are focused, then I think we have a very bright future to adhere to.
Correct, absolutely correct, sir. Thank you for your response. Coming to Miss Anita, my question to you is how can Indian MSMEs build long-term relationship with buyers and enhance their global credibility?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Vajida. Basically, what I would add to the panel is that when the exporter, firstly, the exporters needs to understand like where the market is, where the consumer market is for them. And as a logistics service provider, we are here to guide them on the compliances. If you call it like from the origin and destination perspective, we are here to guide them with the compliances, and at the same time for the purpose of like as you said that how they go global and how they relate to the end customer or the consignees globally. So we can give them the support in understanding the other end through the counterparts. We have the global presence, as UPS would serve them as end to end. We have the global presence to cater to the requirements from origin to destination. So we would be able to bridge the gap in understanding the markets, in understanding the requirements of the consumer, and building a relationship which can be long lasting through UPS as an intermediary. So that's how we can bridge the understanding between the shipper and the receiver if they're going global. Plus, we can make them understand the compliances, which is very important to for a startup or for the new entrant to go into the global market. So that's how we can bridge it.
Correct, correct. Absolutely correct, sir. I would like to add now a question for Mr. Arun. Am I audible to you?
Yes, yes, very much, very much.
Huh. Sir,
Go ahead.
so my question is, as you know, we are into a transitional world right now, where whether it's physical or e-commerce, or we are thinking about the future sustainability, it's all combined up. So when we speak about e-commerce, what do you think? How has the growth of e-commerce platforms influenced the export of electronics and appliances? You know, it's easier for us to buy stuff which are not very expensive, or where we can manage a little bit up and down. Still, is there a skeptical notion among the people from purchasing goods online, or how do you think is it designing the entire landscape?
A very good question, madam. Very good question.
Sir, I'm sorry that
Actually,
I'm interrupting you. We are not able to see your face, sir. Your camera maybe has fallen or some problem is there. Could you please just keep it in a way that we can see your face also?
okay. संजय देखना ये शक्ल नहीं आ रही नहीं आ रहा इससे करो ओके
जी sir. Good
We
to
have
know.
to see, that's a very good question you have asked. And as an economist myself, I'm very proud of you that you have asked the correct question. You see, as the lady from the logistics sector will confirm that electronic sector is characterized by the size is very small. In fact, it is getting smaller and smaller every day. And so it is the ideal thing which can be done over in the e-commerce platform. In fact, in my data monitoring service, I was in Dubai recently, and I suddenly saw that Huawei is offering a mobile phone with 250 MP camera in Dubai for just 20,000 rupees on the e-commerce platform. So e-commerce has now emerged as a very important marketplace, and the physical stores now are there only for demo purposes, but actual trade is taking place on the e-commerce platform through internet, through many other websites, and through tailors, and whole products are being launched through that. Now, how we can exploit that market is, first you must have a product that appeals to the whole world. Now that is something that you have to think it out, because small and medium sector, it has got its own characteristics. Now whether that product will fit into a global scenario, that is something to be seen. But the other aspect, Ashish will bear me out on this, is that domestic cannot survive without exports, because the scales are so huge that unless there are huge scales, the cost per unit will become very high. So you have to have huge scales, for which the domestic market is not sufficient. You have to look at a global market. So that is one aspect that has to be seen. But coming back to exploiting the e-commerce platform, the government of India has made many changes in the export-import policy and the logistic framework, and the incentives that are available in terms of road tap and duty drawback. Those have been extended to e-commerce. So you can go to a post office today, theoretically speaking. I have not done it myself, but you can go to a post office, foreign post office, give your product to them, and it will be delivered to the consumer directly within 2 to 3 days. Even FedEx can do it. They have got different product, different service things which are available, and those can go out of the country, and you will get the incentives. So e-commerce is a very important platform which needs to be developed, and we in ICEA, where Mr. Aashish is there, and in MEDEPC, we are representing to the government as to how the marketplace for e-commerce, especially with regard to exports and domestic market, can be developed, where you have physical stores as well as e-commerce, courier and postal exports kind of thing. So both import side as well as export side, we have, the world is already a global marketplace, but India has yet to improve its. In China, they have got Alibaba.com. They have got a very big scheme for promoting export through e-commerce. Then there is another website, I think ft.com or something. They are the competitors to Alibaba. So e-commerce is something that's very important, and we are working on it. So with these words, I would like to close my submission. Thank you for a very important question.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for such an amazing answer. It's very insightful to hear all this. Now, moving ahead to Dr. Ashish, as we are discussing about all the export opportunities, I just want you to shed some light on the problems which MSME may face when they enter the potential export markets for electronics, and what will be your feasible, cost-effective solutions for them?
Wajida,
What do you think should be the exactly like the right strategy for them to cope up with all these issues?
yes. So this is the right question and wonderful question in terms of addressing the means highlighting the problem where it is originating. So I have the same view and opinion regarding this. So as Arunji mentioned that it's a matter of scale. If you want to jump into export market, you need to understand that there are multiple dynamics. Like logistic is one subject, one core area, compliance is one another area. But the core of the problem is that at what cost you are offering your product in the international market, right? That is one thing. And what is the delta? What is the difference? How much cheaper you are offering in the market in that your particular quality segment, right? So once you scale up things, means it is an open fact that manufacturing in India has a disability of around 10 to 12%. Like if you want to take commercial borrowing, you want to run business, you want to take loan, the the interest rates are around 10 to 12%, including all charges, surcharges, and everything. So the similar commercial borrowing in Taiwan, in China, in Korea, in Japan even lesser. It is around 4.5 to 5.5%. So this is the code. Here your product means products made in India becomes costlier, right? So if you develop that product indigenously, that is one thing. Design means you don't have any IP considerations for it. You need not to pay on account of IP to any other company in any other nation. That is one of the very important criteria. Second, you need to build a skill so that you can achieve particular cost at which you can really compete in the international market. The another point is when you go to a specific buyers in the international market offering a specific quality of product with a specific standardization. I tell you, a few of our members or Indian electronics manufacturers are even exporting to China. I know a company who is exporting capacitors to China. That is one thing. So they have scaled up their operation and now able to beat the prices in the international market. So that is one thing. And in terms of disabilities, how things are getting costlier, the disability is there. So Government of India, Ministry of Electronics, Ministry of MSMEs have a means set of schemes offset those, mitigate those disabilities. So in the form of PLI or in the form of specs or interest subvention by Ministry of MSME. So too many schemes are there. So as an custodian, as a patron, even ICEA is trying to launch a startup cell and MSME cell, which would be able to guide the manufacturers and exporters. So what is the specific set of items you should manufacture? What are the technical requirements? Even arranging capital for them. So we are setting up a means vertical within our organization. So that would able to help MSMEs.
So,
There was this question, somebody has asked a question about electronic fan. Here is this electronic fan. You can see it. The Huawei people gave me this for this fan. It is very small and it's very efficient, and it will cool you whichever part of the body that you want to cool, and it is chargeable. So in this, you can see there's a battery that has gone into it. There will be a control device, PCBA, that is into it. There will be a mechanical thing that will go into it, and it will be very popular in a hot country like India, and also in the world market.
Sir, we are entering into winter season.
great, sir. So, now coming next to Mr. Dipesh, as we have already just seen a little about the issues, how we can just cope up, and what are the actual dynamics existing in the export electronic market. Can you just please share what are the certain government incentives and schemes which are available for electronic and appliances exports?
Yeah, certain uh, policies which are supporting from government is one is Making India, right? Flagship program for manufacturing and encouraging exports. Second is PLI scheme, production linked incentive. Now offers financial incentive to boost electronics and EMCs, development of electronic manufacturing clusters. Now, encouraging cluster-wise manufacturing. So these three things at one stage I can see However, one more thing, just a suggestion on this part, where MSME and SME, when they are exporting, will be needing a support in terms of organization development. Training and development, not for technical only, but the moment an MSME starts doing business, today they have got 3, 4 people. Tomorrow they'll multiply within 1 year 50, then 100, then 200, then 300. Now, if government has a perspective of training from HR related things where an organization is from the organization development preview is given all the support and training and guidance that these are the department you should make, these are the PMS structure you should follow. This way you can improve your incentives, performance management, that is core of the organization. That will also help an MSME to uh, boom and develop themselves.
Correct, sir. Absolutely. So it's like wherever we see or whenever we discuss anything about such government schemes, all we know is that schemes do exist. It's all about how the lack of awareness, and even if the people who are aware, they are like when we approach the government officials, when we try to connect them, they seem to be clueless. Or
Yes.
they may, exactly. And it's like when it comes to helping them out, even they are struggling that how should we help, or it's somewhere lack of motivation for the growth. The mindset needs to be changed. They need to be assisted in that. Absolutely correct, sir. So Miss Anita, what do you think are the key expectation of the international buyers, see, with the rise of e-commerce and globalization? We just have endless products. We can't decide which one is the best, which one is the least. Everyone comes with a plus and the minus points. So, what do you think if, as an exporter and MSME, if they wish to grow into the international market, what do you think international market expects from them? Whether it's in terms of quality, after sales services, certification, what do you think is the key mechanism or a kick point for them to grow?
So, first thing is like with the global shift on the market on from Reliance to China to India and other countries post-pandemic, India has been a focus country where the global market is looking for sourcing. And as a exporter or as an organization looking for getting into this segment, firstly, the global market is looking for something which is like kind of innovative. They are looking for sustainability. They are looking for the devices or maybe the consumer appliances we talk about or smartphones we talk about. They are more they are more efficient. If you say it's like they are more efficient, they are sustainable, recyclable. The global market is looking into more of quality, of course, and with the prices which are like competitive, because you are ultimately competing with the countries which are more efficient, as we were talking about the production line which is more efficient to control cost. Logistics is of course one of the areas which is there as a cost component. And the emerging markets would have a different requirement. They would look into the quality as well as durability. If you talk about the emerging markets in that segment, if you go to the European market or US market, they may be a little liberal, but they would need high quality products. So this depends on like what is your market, target market globally. And if I am talking about the logistics as a service provider or a consultant, D2C is the upcoming or it is already like growing segment, D2C, where you are reaching directly to the consumer. So speed to market is also one thing which can be looked upon. Besides the production, the speed to market in terms of logistics, reaching out to the consumer as fast as you can is one of the areas which can be looked upon.
Listening to all these discussions, I would even ask the entrepreneurs who have heard all these conversations to please start posing up the questions up. So we can take it from there. But there's one question I would like to ask all of you, because this keeps coming in my mind. See, we belong to an Indian economy. We belong to a place where MSMEs are a very important part of exports. But very few of them have come up from an educational background, teaching them or have some international degrees where they can compete with the international players. When it comes to exports, we all are speaking about sustainability, we are speaking about ESG, cost efficiency, effectiveness, all these words we are using. But what about the waste management? Because I guess the day we start managing the waste, we be efficient. How can that efficiency come when it's the MSMEs? It's a question open to all. Please, you can shed light, because many a times a high amount, a high chunk is going because people just can't be efficient. And efficiency is not just one day game. How can they manage waste? How can, with minimal resources, they can create a maximum impact? And I guess if this is done, it will be very easier for them to rule the international market, to cope up with what is already existing and have a better competitive pricing.
So can I add something?
Yeah, definitely.
So, in case of while you are going global and the consumer is across the globe, the product longevity and the reliability is first thing which any consumer is looking for at this point in time. In terms of waste management, the products like going more to the sustainable options. That is something which globally the customer is aware about, and every country, including India, is more focused towards going green. So the recyclability everywhere, like in India, we have focus of government to have recycling schemes. There is waste management programs, which is for electronics as well. So considering that globally, if we have a repairability, recyclable, greener options available for the consumer, that will help us to capture more market segment across the world.
And
Correct.
just to
Yeah.
add to it, what Anita ji has mentioned, there is a complete a policy framework for waste management, especially in electronic sector, right? So there are e-waste management rules 2016 and amended in 2022. Then there are battery waste management rules. There are plastic waste management rules. We have central agencies like Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change. Then CPCB is there, which governs the e-waste management rules across the states also. That is state pollution control rules. So that is one thing. It is a what do I say, mission in process. Means government as a framework. They have made accountable the manufacturers just to collect back their manufactured good from the industry. We call it EPR, Extended Producer's Responsibility. So that framework is there and partially it is getting implemented. So in the times to come, this problem will be minimal in nature. That is one thing. Second, Government of India, Ministry of Electronic is also enforcing, deliberating and thinking how additive manufacturing can be implemented, wherein the waste generation is minimal in nature. So these are few initiatives by government and also from the industry.
Very good to hear, sir, because might be all the entrepreneurs who are over here may learn from it. It may be something new. Is there anything Mr. Dipesh or Mr. Arun Goyal would add to these pointers before we take up the question answers of the MSMEs?
I just would like to focus on improving the quality. If innovation and quality, right? Innovation is okay, but then quality needs to be improved. We are doing very good. However, we need to do much better. We are doing good, but we need to do much better in terms of quality. So market research would be a better thing, like doing export market research is very critical and important for the people who are into this business, in export business.
So I would like to add something in this,
Yes,
that we are missing the point that that in the case of a mobile phone, it is hardly 100 grams, and the waste that it generates is nothing. And in India, we are recycling the whole thing. My phone will go through at least 10 different hands before it is finally junk. And it is then that junk is also mostly plastics. Similarly, in the case of a TV or other thing, most of the waste is plastic. Now the government has put forward the so-called waste recycling rules, which has become a burden on the industry. And to fulfill those, the compliance cost is very, very high. So the waste management has to be commensurate with the technology and the waste that is being generated. So this whole thing requires a relook, and you cannot apply the norms for steel or plastic or textiles or household waste to electronics. It's a different cup of tea altogether. And the MOEF has to take a look at the whole thing and reduce the compliance burden on the industry. So that's my input.
Okay, thank you, sir. Here we have a question about where can the entrepreneurs read about these initiatives? Is there any specific website or any specific area, any links provision for them?
Now, for that, ICEA has got is putting up a cell for this, and the Mobile Export Promotion Council is geared for this only to provide information. It's a new council, more than 2 to 3 years old, but it is geared for that only. You can call them up and they'll give you the answer.
Okay, okay. Great, sir. I hope Asha Rani ji has responded to it. So, Najma ma'am, before we wrap up, can I just have one more question from the entrepreneur and can we finish it up?
Yeah,
Is that fine?
definitely.
Yeah.
Please.
So, one last question which the MSMEs have asked, which I can see is it's about Make in India and how the global chain dynamics has impacted. What are your viewpoints? How Make in India is contributing to the exports in this sector?
See, Make in India is a good slogan, Atmanirbhar Bharat. But as Ashish pointed out, that it,
Self-reliance.
you know, our value added is only at the most 18 to 20%. Even Apple phone that is manufactured in India, the value added will be in this. We have a program called ATP, Assemble, Testing and Packaging, where we are doing a lot of value adding. In design also we are doing a lot of value addition. But those days are gone when you could make everything at home. Gram Swaraj is out. You have to have a global perspective, and Make in India, you can only make what we are good at. Rest we have to integrate with the global industry and get and buy from wherever the costs are the lowest, wherever the prices are the lowest, and sell wherever the margins are the highest. So there are, in the case of electronics, you have to see things in a very, very different way. And with the internet, and with e-commerce, you know, बिछौना धरती को कर ले आकाश को ओढ़ ले. So you have to be global. So Make in India, you should make for the world, and buy from the world. So I think this slogan has to be reinterpreted as far as electronics. Ashish ji, am I right?
Then largely you're correct. Yes, you're correct. That is one thing. But just to add on to this, that Wajida, actually Make in India itself is nothing but a group of initiatives taken by various ministries of government of India. So from mighty like PMP, PLI, SPACs, and too many EMC schemes and MSIPS schemes. So this is a campaign, this wherein all ministries, agencies, government departments are doing something that bit to incentivize manufacturing or to increase the ease of doing business that may lead to Make in India. So Make in India is a larger perspective. It's a preamble like directive principles in our constitution. So it is a directional something.
Great, sir. So, one more thing which Maria ma'am is asking, it's about how to get effective advice on electronic automation requirements in various industries in India for exports.
There is no, I tell you, these questions are very generic in nature. In case
True.
you want a factory automation for capital good, that is one thing. For LED lights, in what there are multiple verticals within electronic industry. We are saying electronics, so whole of the semiconductor comes into electronics, right? Then passives, then mobile phone, then consumer electronic, industrial electronics, strategic electronics. When it comes to industrial automation, there are various type of capital goods who can be made smart or automated, but there are different agencies or companies that which deals in. So if we get any specific question or your audience want any specific advice, then kindly share it with us. One-to-one basis, we'll try our best to respond.
Thank you very much, sir. So, here I'm actually very glad to be a moderator today. It was actually what I can say is I myself have learned a lot. All the entrepreneurs may have gained the information which is required for them to become a good exporter. So, thank you very much. Now, I would like to ask Najma ma'am to carry forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wajida ji, and thank you all the esteemed speakers who joined today and shared their insights with us on this amazing topic and this amazing discussion. I'm sure that everybody could get, advantage from this session, and they will use these insights to tap into the international market and seize the global markets with their products. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today for this session on the electronics and appliances, which was the fourth webinar under the India Exports International Business Week. And as the India Exports is committed to support the future of Indian MSMEs and exporters by offering the targeted knowledges, practical tools, and guidance across various sectors. We are going to continue this series of webinars for another 4 days and with 4 different sectors. For more information and registration for the webinars, please join and visit our website indiaexports.com. You can encourage your entrepreneurs in your network also to join us. Also, this webinars will be available on our YouTube channel, the India SME Forum. Any sort of information about the program and any questions and query that you may have can be sent to itt@indiasmeforum.org. And any sort of information about all the initiatives of India SME Forum can be checked at our website, indiasmeforum.org. With that, thank you so much, everybody, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the great meeting. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.